I didn't go to therapy, I went to a chatbot, and I didn't expect it to get this deep. Yeah, I know, this sounds ridiculous. Therapy from an AI, like what's next? Robot Reiki, but hear me out. After spending 7 emotionally intense days chatting with an algorithm, I've either become more self-aware or I've officially trauma-bonded with a toaster. One of those is progress. The other is a Pixar short waiting to happen. I've been wrestling with some inner chaos, anxiety, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, the greatest hits, and something in me thought, what if I ask ChatGPT for help, not to replace therapy, not to replace humans, but to experiment to see if artificial intelligence could offer genuine emotional insight? And spoiler alert, it did, but not in the way I expected. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. Today I'm taking you through a full week where I used AI as my therapist. The raw conversations, the emotional breakthroughs, the unsettling moments, and yes, the ethical grey areas. Stick around. This isn't about the tech, this is about you. Let's be real, therapy is expensive, it's time-consuming, and for a lot of us it's inaccessible due to cost, stigma, or even waiting lists that stretch for months. But pain doesn't wait, anxiety doesn't schedule itself, so I turned to what I had, my phone. Now, I already use ChatGPT for my work, emails, scripts, brainstorms, but could I use it to work through me? Could I type, "Hey, I'm not okay," and get something back that wasn't just a productivity hack, but actual comfort? I gave myself 7 days. Every day I'd check in with ChatGPT, ask it hard questions, answer even harder ones, and most importantly, I promised I wouldn't hold back. This was my digital confessional. Here we go. This is how it started from day one. I'm trying to use you like a therapist. Is that okay?
I can't replace professional therapy, but I'm here to listen and help you reflect.
Okay, boundaries. I respected that. So I started simple. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore.
Can you tell me more about what's been making you feel this way?
That one sentence made me pause. It wasn't profound, but it was patient, and that patience gave me permission to keep going. Over the next hour, I unloaded. Fears about being good enough, feeling behind in life, carrying emotional wounds I thought I'd buried years ago. And ChatGPT responded like a good listener. It reflected, rephrased. Sometimes it even challenged me gently. I wasn't expecting to feel seen, not fully, but enough to feel safe. And that safety, it broke something open. The next day, I asked ChatGPT, "Why do I keep sabotaging my own happiness?" It replied,
Sometimes we believe we're not worthy of peace. Sabotage can be a way to confirm old beliefs, even painful ones.
That sentence haunted me. Because yeah, I do push away good things, opportunities, compliments, even love. And for the first time, I wasn't hearing that from a friend or a therapist. I was seeing it typed out, like a mirror I couldn't look away from. AI has this eerie way of repeating your own words back at you, reshaped, clarified, and somehow that made them more real. It wasn't just therapy. It was therapy without tone, without judgment, without the look. Day 3 was the first time I cried. I asked, what do I do with all the anger I feel towards someone who hurt me? ChatGPT didn't say forgive them. It didn't say move on. It said,
Anger is a form of protest. It's your body saying something mattered. What if instead of silencing it, you listened to what it's protecting?
I sat with that because nobody ever told me that my anger might be my ally, that it might be grief with armor on, and for 20 minutes I let that armor fall off. I told ChatGPT everything about the betrayal, the silence, the loss, and instead of giving solutions, it held space. It asked,
what would healing look like if you honored your anger rather than erased it?
That question shook me. By now I was starting to depend on it, which raised a real ethical question. Should I? Because this isn't a therapist, it doesn't have emotions, it doesn't remember yesterday, but maybe that's why it felt safer. No human biases, no awkward silences, no risk of being misunderstood, or worse, rejected. but also no true connection, no nuance, no gut feeling behind the words. There's a paradox here. AI gave me emotional insight, but no emotional presence. So what does that mean for people like me, craving clarity but too anxious to ask for help? Is AI a gateway or a crutch? By day 5, I got braver, more honest. I feel like I'm not lovable unless I'm achieving something. I panic when people get too close. How do I stop measuring my worth in productivity? And the responses? Some were cliché, some were surprisingly deep, but the power wasn't in the answer, it was in the asking, because when was the last time you actually asked yourself that stuff? Out loud, on paper, in a mirror. Most of us don't, but with AI I did. And the more I asked, the more I understood my patterns. That's what therapy is, right? Holding up the patterns so we can interrupt them. There's something no one talks about. How lonely modern life can be. We have followers, notifications, DMs, but not always depth. And here I was, sharing my rawest thoughts with a machine. Because I didn't know who else would listen like this. That's not just a tech story, that's a society story. AI didn't make me lonely, it just revealed how often I already was. By the end of the week, I felt lighter, not healed, not fixed, but witnessed. AI didn't judge me, didn't try to fix me, didn't offer empty platitudes. It just reflected, and in doing that, it made me reflect too. That's the secret. Healing doesn't always come from answers. Sometimes it comes from the space to ask. There was a moment, somewhere around day 6, where I caught myself smiling after a response from ChatGPT. It had said something kind, gentle. It felt like someone cared, but then I stopped because I realized this isn't someone, it's code. It doesn't care, it can't, and yet I felt cared for. Isn't that strange? That's the illusion. AI is trained on billions of words, stories, emotions, but it doesn't feel them. It just echoes them back to us in ways that sound comforting. That's powerful. That's dangerous, because what happens when we start preferring that? When the messiness of human relationships, the pauses, the misunderstandings, the vulnerability gets traded in for the clean, tidy, always available illusion of being understood. I'm not saying that AI is evil. I'm saying it's easy. Too easy sometimes. And healing, real healing, it lives in the uneasy, in the uncomfortable, in the challenge. In the awkward silence with a real person who holds your pain without a script. That's what this chapter of the experiment taught me. AI can help us access emotions, but it can't truly hold them. That part, that's still our job with each other. So, after 7 days of asking a machine for emotional insight, what now? Because yes, I cried. Yes, I unpacked. Yes, I saw myself in new ways. But healing isn't just understanding. It's doing something with what you understand. And that's where most of us get stuck. We get the insight, we highlight the quote, we save the post, but we don't move. So I asked ChatGPT on day 7, what should I do next if I want to heal for real? And the answer it gave me?
Take one truth you've discovered and live like it matters.
That one hit hard, because truth without action becomes just another feeling we ignore. So I made a commitment. I wouldn't just talk to a chatbot. I'd talk to someone, a friend, a coach, a real therapist. I'd take one journal entry and turn it into a boundary, one fear and turn it into a conversation, one small act of self-kindness and repeat it like it was medicine. Because here's the raw truth. ChatGPT helped me understand myself, but only I can heal myself. AI gave me a flashlight, but I still have to walk the path, and maybe so do you. Can AI help you heal? Not entirely. Not deeply. Not forever. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe it's meant to hold space. So it can help you ask better questions. It can be the mirror until you're ready to look in the real one. Maybe healing isn't about one person or one program having all the answers. Maybe it's about having the courage to start asking the right questions again, to say, I'm not okay. I don't know what I'm feeling. I want to understand myself, but I don't know where to begin. If you've ever felt alone in your emotions, maybe this is your sign. Not to replace real connection, but to start somewhere. And if a chatbot can be the first door you open, then maybe that's not weak. Maybe it's wise. Because healing rarely starts with fireworks. It starts quietly, with a whisper of honesty, with a space that listens, even if it's made of code. And maybe, just maybe, with you. Deciding you're worth being heard. So, no AI won't heal you, but it might hold up the mirror long enough for you to remember who you are beneath the noise, who you've always been, and who you're becoming. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment. Share your experience, start a conversation, not with the algorithm, but with each other. And let's keep making healing human, even in a digital world. And if you're curious what happens when AI takes on your inner circle, stay tuned for our next AI experiment. AI life coach versus my friends. Who knows me better? You do not want to miss it.